Hey, how's it going, guys? Let's get moving on to this advanced exponential equations worksheet. Solve for x, give both an exact and approximate answer. So in order to do this, just like we went over in class, you want to take the natural log of both sides to begin the problem. And the reason why you've chosen natural log is because it has the fewest number of letters to write. It is simply an attempt at maximizing laziness. So we are just putting that ln in front of both of these. So as you can see, this problem is actually just contrived. I literally just made it up saying it goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Really no other reason for this exact problem to exist other than just as practice for it. However, future questions do have a reasoning behind it. All right. Anyway, so once you're doing the natural log of both sides, we now apply our log rules. So our log rules say we have the ln of 2 plus, because that multiplication is going to turn into a plus with another ln here, 3 to the 4x plus 5 equal to ln 6, just like this on the other side as well, ln of 7 to the 8x plus 9. All right, so getting a little crazy here. Got 4 ln's all over the place. We still have x's in the exponent, though. The whole point of taking the natural log of both sides is to the very next step here. You can bring the x out of the exponent into a solvable question using our other law of logarithm, the power law there. So what we've done is we've taken that 4x plus 5 and it came in front here. So it kind of like slid into the front right there. Times ln of 3 equals, and now we got ln of 6. Same exact idea, that 8x plus 9 coming down in front. Don't forget those parentheses. Easy to make a mistake there. At this point in time is where I prefer to begin making my little notes about what different letters could be. Effectively, I'm going to call this guy a letter. I'm going to give this guy a letter. I'm going to give this guy a letter, and I'm going to give this guy a letter. The point is to make the question look less scary and just easier to write for the rest of the question. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a is the ln of 2, and now for the rest of the problem, as I write ln of 2, I'm simply going to write an a instead. Likewise, I will do exactly the same thing for ln of 3, gets another letter. And this is just called a substitution, and you are making your own substitution up. So if you'd rather do something different, you can. I do think this is the easiest method of substituting here, but there are other ways to do it as well. All right, there we go. Oh my. All right, so we have all A's, B's, and C's and D's now. We have no more LNs, which makes the problem look less scary. You know, if I had only this question up there, you know, that could actually just be just like this. It could be an Algebra 1 problem now. Of course, it is something that people forget how to do, so I'm just going to keep on going through it. We're going to take this B, and we are distributing to both. We're kind of using our arrows. If you want to use arrows, you can. It goes to the 5B there, C plus D is going to both of them too, 8xd plus 9d. And now all the x's to the left, all the not x's to the right. So we have our two things with x's there, 4xb minus 8xd. The reason why it's a minus because it hopped over the equal sign. So if you hop over that equal sign, gets the other answer there. We have c plus 9d. That's these two that are copied, but we have a and 5b going over to the right-hand side. Continuing on, we now need to factor out an x. So there's an x in both of these, so we can rewrite it as 4b minus 8d with the x on the outside. The idea is if I redistribute it to get back to this step, the right-hand side, we just copy. Remember the little trick to be lazy about it? Put two little tick marks. We call that a ditto, just like that Pokemon ditto, and that copies the entire line above, so we don't have to write it again. Now we're dividing both sides of that 4b minus 8d. I'm actually going to write it this time because this basically is our final answer before we do our substitution. Our resubstitution, we are going to go back and reuse all of our letters that we wrote down. And just to think about how much we saved here, so we wrote the letter A instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. So we had that happen. So every single one saved you 4 characters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 multiplied by 4, 80 different characters saved by doing substitution. Pretty cool. Anyways, final answer, C is ln of 6 plus 9 times ln of 7, because that's what D is there. And then minus the ln of 2. It's going to run off the page there, but minus 5, and B is ln of 3, all divided by 4 times the same ln of 3, minus 8 times ln of 7. And now we got to plug all that into the calculator to get our approximate answer, because it did say in the question, give both exact and approximate. So this is our exact answer. There's one of them. And the approximate answer for our decimal version of this question, we just have to type all of it into the calculator. So I'm just, doing the alpha, y equals enter, getting my fraction. ln button's right there. So we have the ln of 6 plus 9, ln of 7, minus the ln of 2, minus 5, ln of, I can't even read my own handwriting, that's a 3. There we go. 4 times the ln of 3 again, minus 8 times the ln of 7. And if you type all that into the calculator, you end up with negative 1.174 and 7 after rounding. Oh, 17. 7417, or 1. You could have also just rounded to the 4 decimals. 1.742 probably would have been good. So maybe I'll just write that. The actual better way of writing 1.1. Oh my gosh, negative 1.1742. There's my other answer. Okay, very, very good. All right, so we have finished up this question, and so some people said, hey, I only gave 4 questions. It's a really short homework, but it's actually been 7 minutes and we've only done 1 problem. So we got to pick up the pace here. Let's go. We're going to do ln on both sides. Again, same exact first step. But this is where, when you're doing long questions, that you can start learning to do things in your head. So what am I going to say? We're going to go back up to this for a second. When I did this problem, I said, hey, but do the ln of both sides. But you know what? I know I'm going to do the ln of both sides. Do I really need to write that, or can I just jump to this plus sign step? I think that's the better choice. So plus, the plus sign step, that t is going to come down in front of the ln. Look how short I can make this question. We have ln 15915, and again, that t is coming down in front. ln of 1.07. Now, what I've done is I've hopped straight from this step down to this step kind of in one go, because I know immediately, you know what, I'm going to have to do the plus with this. I'm going to have to bring that down in front. And if you just do both of those things right away, now you only have one step. Nice. All right, so this guy right here, there's my A. There's my B. There's my C. There's my D. So you have A plus TD. TB equals C plus, now it's TD. Okay. All the T's to the left, all the not T's to the right. So TB minus TD equals C minus A. Factor out that T equals C minus A. And finally, T is equal to C minus A over B minus D, which is C was this guy. We have ln 15915 minus A is this guy, ln of 22419, all divided by, and we got the ln of 1.04 minus the ln of 1.07. Now, earlier I was talking about, while I'm typing this in my calculator, I was talking about how these questions could show up in different situations. This is actually from a real life situation where you are comparing and contrasting 2 different accounts to see how long until they have the same value. So in this case, this is a $22,000 account with a 4% interest rate versus a $15,000 account with a 1.07% interest rate. So this T is how long it will take until these 2 values have the same amount. So this one starts at a bigger value with 22,000, but this one will grow faster because it has a 1.07 compared to a 1.04 for that growth rate. So we have ln 15915 minus ln 22419 divided by, we got ln of 1.04 minus the ln of 1.07. And if you do that, it will be approximately, this is our exact answer. And then the approximate answer is 12 years, 12.0489. So approximately 12 years, a little bit less than that, for how long until these two accounts have exactly the same value. Let's go on to the next page. So this one I kind of put on there on purpose because I put the letter E to do it. Right, so this one, when we do the ln, something special is going to happen because we do have to remember that the ln of E is exactly 1. So when we go through the question, we'll get to that point, make it easier for us. But just like the previous problem, I'm going to jump steps. So we're going to write ln of 5 and then plus, and we know that exponent is coming down in front, 2x plus 4 times the ln of E. Like I said before, that's going to be 1. Times, and now I don't have any number in front of this, so it's just going to be x minus 1 times the ln of 10. Boom, got it. Now, this guy here is 1, so when I'm rewriting this equation here, and I have to pick all these letters A's, B's, C's, and D's, this is going to be A, but this is just 1, so I don't even really need to write it, right? So, and there's B. Only 2 letters in this question. Nice. So A plus 2x plus 4, 1 times something is still the same thing, so I don't even need... can't speak. I don't even need distributive property really, because 1 times the same thing. B times both of those. Here you will need that distributive property though. So B is getting distributed to both of those. All the x's to the left, the not x's to the right. So the bx moves right. The a plus 4 minus b is going to stay there. Factor out an x, 2 minus b. These guys just copied. Again, I could have used the ditto if I wanted to, and I really should have because I like using it. A plus 4 minus b divided by 2 minus b, which is equal to a was the ln of 5 plus 4 minus the ln of 10 divided by 2 minus the ln of 10. There we go. Here is our exact answer. And that is approximately, got to type it in the calculator. And again, I'm just using my alpha y equals enter, typing the whole thing in. You see I'm actually typing the whole thing. That's what we got to do. Not really a quick way of doing it. ln of 5 plus 4 minus the ln of 10 over 2 minus ln of 10. Okay. And you get approximately negative 10.9287. Now, one student was asking me, how can I know that my answer is correct? How can I make sure that I'm doing this right? How can I check my work? So at this point, you want to go back to that, what you learned in like pre-algebra, algebra 1. You could take this number and plug it back into the original equation and see what you get. So just to see, watching that happen, let's try this out. So we're going to go 5. We're typing in the 5. And then E is this blue guy right there. So second blue guy. And 2x plus 4. So 2 times an x is this number. Boom. Plus 4. And there you go. There's this side of the equation. So we get 8.7826 e to the negative 8. Okay. So that means 8.7826 times 10 to the negative 8th power. That's actually what that little negative sign means, equals. And now let's see if that's true. Plug this into the other one. So we're going to take exactly the same thing, 10 to the power of, and it's this guy, that 10 whatever, minus 1. And we got a different number. Wonderful. So pause the video for a second so I can check my own work. All right, so I found my mistake, and this is exactly why you check your work. Beautiful. So I planned that all along. So what mistake did I make? Maybe you already found it, but when I brought the a to the other side here, I should have made it a negative a and a negative 4, which that's a negative a, that's a negative 4, that's a negative a, that's a negative 4, that's a negative ln of 5, and that's a negative 4. Woof, all those mistakes. So let's go back and fix those two things. So, oh, and this is a great time to teach you a cute little trick in case you didn't know it. So if you want to put something in front, like I want to make that ln a negative, if I hit second delete, it will start flashing and you can actually insert things in front. So that is my correct number. So it's not 10 point whatever this is. It is going to be 26.1481. All right, and now let's check our work. So the same exact thing. 5 e to the power 2 times this bad boy minus 1. And it turns out that this is 9.47 times 10 to the 22nd power. That's a really, really big number. So this guy right here at the top is 9.4759 times 10 to the 22nd. So that's what this guy is. Now we can try the same exact thing. So we typed all that in there, and we're doing 10 now to the power, the same exact number, but minus 1, and it's still wrong. Beautiful. So now we got to figure out what we're doing wrong here. Did I make another mistake? Is the question. Let's figure out. I'm going to pause the video again. I didn't actually make a mistake. In the work, I just did a calculator mistake. Instead of putting a minus 1, this should have been a plus 4. Huh! Finally, it's correct. Those two answers are the same. There's how you can check your work. But, you know, this was supposed to be advanced exponential equations for a reason. These are not the easiest question. This is definitely correct, though. I apologize taking so long on that problem. All right, solve for x. Give both exact and approximate answer. Hint, you'll need to use the fact, this guy right here. So I gave this extra information here because this problem has this plus 5, and we haven't had to deal with a plus 5 like this before. So because we have not had to deal with a plus 5 like that, it's going to cause the problem. So what you have to do is the idea is this m is 5. So what I'm saying is you have m to the 2 to the log base 2 of 5. That's what I was hoping that you're going to be able to write. And the reason why you can rewrite it like this just to start. Now we do have the same base for this question, but so what can only be concluded as a super embarrassing video of mine, when I got stuck at this step, I decided, okay, I don't remember what I was going to do for this challenge question. So I went and looked it up, and then it turns out you can't actually solve this question exactly. It doesn't have an easy answer. You can only approximate the answer to this question. So so I'm just going to go ahead and put a frowny face that I asked an impossible question, and that I'm just gonna leave it at that and swallow my pride and embarrassments and blame it on end of the year woes. All right, have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out, guys.